confusing.
Okay, we should be good. We should be good. Tell us if we're live. Welcome to the Tech City live stream for the end of July. This is the one of two live streams, or the second of the second. And today we're talking about the RX 7900 GRE, aka the Golden Rabbit Edition. We've also got some other topics as well, like Intel's financials, which is we're going to go over it just in a simple way. Because breaking it down, there's just a massive change as to, I think some people, like I was reading some tweets on Twitter and some people were confused about, oh, how is Intel still being profitable when the revenue's down and the dividends, we'll talk about that later. But joined by my co-host Yusuf. How you doing, man?
Yeah, not too bad. It's early in the morning. It's not.
It's not that early.
I'm just used to waking up late.
Yeah, so, okay.
I mean, I woke up first thing in the morning and immediately you were just like, because last night you said, okay, we're going to stream tomorrow. I'll wake up, I get ready, I'm sitting at my PC, just radio silence for like 2 hours.
Yeah, weekend was kind of like weird for me. I had to go on this trip to remember the past people. So it then went to there's this place called Kisarazu. It was really nice, actually. There was fireworks and stuff there. So had a good weekend. It was just busy. I was away from the computer. And speaking of waking up, I've been waking up about 6:30. I've been doing the healthy thing.
Early.
Yeah, early, man. You got to get into the early. I met someone who's going to bed at 8 p.m. and waking up at 4 a.m. And that's something I want to get into, eh? So
I'm usually in bed around 10, get up around 7.
Okay. So that's pretty good. So 11 shouldn't be too early, or 12 midday for you. So let's get on to we got the benchmarks here. So we got the 7900 GRE. Now there's a lot of chat. I've been seeing a lot of negative tweets about this. I'm kind of seeing what we're getting here, and for me, it's like, I don't know. It's not good. It's not bad. It's not terrible. It's just as expected. Which, speaking of terrible, right? This is the thing. Before we get into this topic, I'll just bring up a few inflation points, because everyone's going to be blaming AMD, NVIDIA, Intel for all these price hikes naturally. They're getting the blame. But I go down to a 7-Eleven, and I go down to Family Mart especially, right? Family Mart. They've got a tuna onigiri, right? Tuna onigiri. That's just a rice ball with some tuna in it. Now, that tuna rice ball, that was 110 yen. 110 yen. That was when about 2017, 2018. You know how much that costs now?
Okay, I'm just gonna use my local numbers. What, maybe like 150? That's what I'm sort of
bingo, 155. So you're talking 40 something, 45% increase in price.
Huge, yeah, absolutely.
That's just regular things that you buy. Then there's the chicken balls. This is the worst. 110 yen from 7-Eleven. 3 karage balls, 3 chicken balls. That went up to 180 yen. From 110.
Oh, wow.
That's a huge increase, man. Huge increase. Now, this is what's happening across all prices. So when we look at a product like the 7900 GRE, people are like, oh, well, I wanted the 7800 XT. I wanted it at $500 at least. I wanted it to beat the 4070. And then this comes out, and people are like, well, that's the 16 gigabyte option. That was meant to be the 7800 XT. But then I'm looking at it closer. It's weird because it is the same die, the Navi 31, as the 7900 XT. I think it's just, if we look at the benchmarks here, it's not looking good for this card. Let's be honest here. It's pulling in numbers that the 7900 XT is just pulling ahead of it by a lot of the times here, 15 to 25, even 35%. I thought I saw this game here. What's this one? The 4?
Which one? That's Resident Evil 4. If that's
okay, so Resident Evil 4, it's 35% faster in Resident Evil 4. That's massive.
Oh wait, no. If you scroll down, that's Diablo 4.
Oh, Diablo 4. Okay, so they're just I can't read that kanji. That's insane. So that's Diablo 4, 35% faster, and then
funny you should mention that. When I was translating that, it's saying the Black Destroyer 4. I'm like, what could this mean? I put it into Google, and then everyone's like, oh, it's Diablo.
Okay. So anyway, it's trading blows with the 4070 a lot of the time, which is kind of I think a lot of people are disappointed because it's $50 more. Sure, you got and it's coming from AMD. People want better price performance, especially for raster when it's coming from AMD. So these benchmarks are really kind of disappointing a lot of people. They're like, well, I should have why did I wait for this, right? why did I wait for this? Why didn't I just go get a 4070 or just go buy a 7900 or a 7800 XT on sale? And so, I mean, that's right. But my thing was, I was warning people, like, do you expect anything different? Like, did you expect AMD to not want to make any profit and their AIBs who are making the cards to not make any profit because prices have gone up for everything? That's where I'm coming from with this. So I saw it, I was like, yeah, like it's actually not bad. So I'm kind of in the fence of, well, you're actually getting a lot of hardware compared to the 7900 XT, compared to the XTX. You're getting a lot of hardware here. It's just that it's clocked down significantly. And this is what I was researching this one actually quite a bit more. I was like, why is it like, because you've got 5,100, I think it's 5,120 shading units. This is the 7900 GRE. Then you've got the 7900 XT, which is 5376. So there's really, like, is it 5% more shaders on the, I think it's 5% more shaders on the 7900 XT, yet it's performing over 20% faster. Then we look at the clock.
5%, actually, yeah.
Okay, so that's exactly 5%. Damn, my math radar in my head works pretty well. That's one thing, right? When we do the deals hunts, that's how I always know I'm getting a good deal. It's like the automatic calculator in the head's like, this looks good, this looks good, this looks ping, ping, ping. And so it's
wonder
gone.
if you like adjust for inflation in your head as well. You're like,
I do, okay. Yeah, you do adjust for inflation.
2019 prices, okay, this is 2020 prices.
That's exactly what goes through my head a lot of the time, dude. Actually, it's like, okay, this was this and this price. Okay, so am I still getting a decent deal, inflation adjusted? So that's the problem is if you get something and then you realize the quality went down, then you got hit with the shrinkflation. That's the worst one out of it all. So also, if you guys are in chat as well and you want to shoot some questions over, be sure to drop them down below. We'll answer them once we get to Q&A time and have a bit of fun. But this one here, and I do want chat to join in with this. How do you feel about these clock speeds being dropped? If we look at especially the shade of the game clock and the boost clock, they're a lot sort of lower on the 7900 GRE than they are on the XT.
I think there's a good argument either way. Like it's completely worth it. You're getting like the same like die as the 7900 XT, just cut down a little bit. You're getting a lot for your money because it is like what $300 cheaper, $300 US cheaper, because it's going from 950 to 650. So you're getting a lot for your money, but also if it's Training Blades with a 4070, like, does it really matter?
Okay.
Depending on the game, obviously. There's like a lot of games where it's like where it's better, where it's worse. Has your camera died? What are you doing?
No, it didn't die. It's just frozen. Yeah. Not wrong. Okay. I'm looking at the stream monitoring. I don't know what happened there. So I knew that HDMI cable sticking out. It wasn't going to
mention that before stream.
I was nervous about it. Hey, it was Yeah, I was nervous about it. Hopefully, yeah. I got to look into that, guys. I used a different HDMI cable, and like half of it, I was looking at it, I'm like, yeah, half of it's sticking out today. It doesn't look too promising. So if it does cut, I'll just quickly re-enable it. Also got Slow Hardware. He says, would you recommend the 3080 Ti if the price is right in 2023? So thanks for the $5 donation, my man. 1440p, 144 hertz monitor. The reason I ask is the 12 gigabytes of VRAM buffer. Of course, it's coming down to the VRAM. You've been scared. Everyone's talking about VRAM. Everyone's going on about it. My personal, I'm going to give you guys my personal experience with VRAM, and that is, it's 12 gigabytes can be fine, absolutely fine. And the reason is because there's a thing called just lowering some of the settings, and you'll still get an amazing visual experience. Like, this is what, I've never, even if I come into a problem with VRAM with one of my cards, especially, I've got a 12 gigabyte VRAM now on my main rig. I got the 4070 Ti, I put that in there. And even if I come into a problem, I'm just going to lower some settings and get a smooth experience. So that's this was, if you guys got into PC gaming back in early 2000s or back in the day, you even the latest GPU that was the flagship could not run a lot of these games at max settings. Even what was the crappy resolution we were using back then, like 800 by 600 or something. It was no, but I'm serious. You could not run these games.
The engines were overbuilt, so it was it had extra just in case like the next generation comes out. Just because it's got those settings doesn't mean you need to use them. And I'm in the same boat as well. I've got a 3080 and I've got the same resolution as Brian, which is 4K by 2K ultra wide, 175 hertz, and it's absolutely fine.
Yeah, so that's what I thought.
If a 3080 Ti is worth the money, it just depends on how much it costs.
And absolutely, if the price is right, anything's going to be a good buy in that case. I said for me personally, I did a video on VRAM. My thoughts was 6 gigabytes is an absolute minimum if you want to play 1080p. 8 gigabytes will be fine. I think you can juggle 8 gigabytes absolutely fine, especially for the next couple of years. Now, there's these new games coming out that have ray tracing baked into them where you have to enable ray tracing. That's going to be a bit of a dodgy move from some of the companies if they're like sort of deliberately putting these settings in that's going to like smash VRAM so you buy the next generation of product. We've seen this kind of in ways with CPUs, and it really annoys me. It's like if you want people to buy new stuff, it's a thing called innovation. Innovate. Make people want to buy your new stuff. Don't hamper the old stuff. Yeah. But make them buy the new stuff because it's that much better and it can do so much better. Not, oh, we're going to force you to have ray tracing on in the games and absolutely tank your system. But hey, we got a 16 gigabyte 7900 GRE available for $649. So that's kind of like, I feel that's where PC gaming has been going in the last couple of years, and it's very annoying to see that. And I think a lot of YouTubers have been expressing how bored they are and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, now I've gone back to a 10th gen CPU and I couldn't be happier. Yeah. And I couldn't be, and to be honest, I couldn't be snappier as well. See what I did there? So I couldn't be happier, couldn't be snappier. And that's what like I'm focusing on my channel now. So I'm going to go big focus on, hey, if you still got some of this old stuff, it's still great. Don't worry. A 3080 Ti, if you pick it up for the right price, it's still going to give you a phenomenal 1440p experience. But we'll get this 7900XG, and we got R2D2 as well here today, guys. So hope you enjoy the $5 mug that I picked up on a bargain. I got 3 of them actually for $15. I got the Darth Maul, I got the Jar Jar, and then I got the R2D2. So I miss my old Star Wars mugs.
Turn up your mic a little bit.
Turn it up.
Hot.
Okay.
Did you? No,
I turned it. Yeah, turned it down. Turn it down. Yeah, it's running a little bit hot. Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, it's probably because I'm just so energetic.
Yeah, no, I saw you getting into your rank, getting closer to the mic. I'm like, uh-oh, here we go.
Yeah, I'm getting so excited about jumping back to 10th gen that it's coming through on the microphone. So, yeah.
Well, but I mean, there's also like a common consensus at the moment of like, oh, newer must be better. I've seen a lot of people on Reddit saying, oh, should I get the new AM5? Oh, I can't really afford the top end, so I'm getting like a mid-range AM5 with the DDR5. I'm saying, like, no, the 5800 X3D is more than enough for gaming.
Okay.
So
I mean, it just all depends. So it's interesting to see. So I personally, let's just finish this off though, and then we'll move on. So yeah, 7900, okay, yeah, 7900 GRE. Basically, what you can expect is a slightly, it's weird. The shading units is slightly cut down from a 7900 XT. However, the VRAM's gone from 20 gigabytes to 16 gigabytes, and so has the bit bus gone from 320 to 256. But you're still getting the same amount of ROPS, I do believe. So there's actually quite a bit to like about this card, especially if we were to get it and it was to be quite a decent overclocker. I think that's where I'm going to leave my reservations about this card. Is I'm not going to judge it, and I don't really give out a final verdict until I try the product. So yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, I mean, personally, I'd like to look forward to seeing if this thing, what it does in terms of overclocks, because I think that's where a lot of people typically would have got something in the back in the day that was a cut down version of the flagship, and they just see how much extra juice they can give it and then see how fast it can go. So in this case, I get that a lot of people are upset that AMD's not bringing out a 7800 XT, and this is kind of in ways your 7800 XT. But I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a lot there. There's a lot there to digest. I mean, I will say one thing though, it's sort of like, I felt like RDNA 3 could have been better though, in terms of its raw performance over RDNA 2. I think that's the biggest thing that's, as this creeps in, as you get these new cards coming out, you're seeing with the RX 7600, you're seeing it with the 7900 GRE and even the XT and XTX when they came out. People expected more from them, and that's just because RDNA 3 itself wasn't as impressive as I think a lot of people hoped it would be. But regardless, it is what it is. That's always the way with this stuff. So I'm sort of looking, what could this do at 649? I think it could have a saving grace if you could overclock it.
Did you want to go through the benchmarks real quick, and I'll just translate the titles so we can see what it will get?
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, let's go through.
I don't think we need to look at 1080p, because if you're buying GPU,
well, it's 1440. Yeah. 1080p is what you sent me, but yeah.
Didn't I send you both? I swear I sent you both.
Okay. Yeah,
we'll
just go through 1080p anyway. I mean, just tell the 1440p numbers. I mean, they're probably going to be the same.
We've got Forza Horizon 5 at the top, and the GRE is getting 140 FPS.
Is it 1440p?
Yeah, 1440p.
Okay,
what does it get at 1080?
I better pull them up. Well, I'm going to... it's just I got a Facebook tab up, and I'm not pulling that up on live stream. Because
you don't have a scene to blank it out?
Hey?
You don't have a scene to blank it out?
No. Oh, wait, I do, actually. Okay, quickly. Okay.
You know, you were telling me before stream how professional it's looking.
Yes, the stream is so professional, guys. The stream is the utmost profession here. So just stand by while we pull up this amazing 1440p number. Actually, I do agree, though. 1440p is where it's at now. After doing a lot more research and seeing the monitor pricing and stuff like that, I am in agreement that it is a better resolution to be on because the monitors are just getting so cheap now. So, okay, so I think I've got 2K. Yeah, I got the 2K results up here now. Okay, we're getting back to it. Back to it.
Forza getting 140 FPS.
Okay. Yeah, so we got Forza Horizon 5. This is the first game. So 20% faster on the XT, which is bigger than that 5% more stream processors. So if anything, maybe you could put an inkling here that it's perhaps memory limited on AMD's side. If we look through these benchmarks, you've got very similar amount of stream processors, yet you've got...
What was the bitbot difference?
256 versus 320, so there's a huge jump. Okay. That's where you're getting a 20. Off the top of my head, that would be roughly a 20% boost. And you've got higher memory speeds on top of that. So I believe you will be bandwidth limited by memory on the 7900 GRE. So that's where I'm looking at these benchmarks now, especially at 1440p. The gap's widening on a lot of these titles. So first is Forza Horizon 4. Next is 2077. That's Cyberpunk. Yeah, definitely Cyberpunk.
95 FPS. That's respectable. I'm not sure what settings that is, but that's playable. Definitely.
I mean, yeah. So another thing that's coming from these benchmarks too is have a look. Have a look at the games you play as well. Like if you just play Cyberpunk and that's all you play, you're going to get a lot of value out of a GRE versus a 4070, for instance. So it all depends on the games you play as well. That's one thing I definitely wanted to go on and talk about. So yeah, this dude, this HDMI cable's bugged, man. So
did it do it again?
Yeah, dude, it's just a bad HDMI cable. That's like pretty sure what's going on because it's yeah. Sorry guys about the HDMI cable. I think it overheats or something. It's just not good enough. So yeah, I'll fix that up for the next stream. Yep, and there it goes again.
No way.
No way, man. No way. People can't have a static image. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Okay. No. Why is it doing this? What if I go 720p? Is that going to work better? Okay. Hopefully there's not enough. Yeah, okay. That should be okay. I'm 720p now. That's what you get. 720p, Brian, instead of 1080p, hopefully. What a fix, man. What a fix on the live stream. There we go. So at least you get a bigger head, too.
The most professional live stream.
It is, man. The most professional live stream on YouTube. So we got here. So we got next up, here's the 4. That would be...
That's Resident Evil 4.
Okay, Resident Evil 4 is...
107.
17.7, so 18% faster. And then we've got next up here is what's that one?
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla, 25% advantage to the XT. Yeah, that's definitely the memory coming into play there.
But
that memory bus.
Also, Ubisoft is like notoriously unoptimized, so it could just be that.
Okay.
After that, that
It's
is
the same GPU
Model.
though. It's like we're talking about the same
Yeah,
Navi 31 versus the same Navi 31.
but not effective use of the hardware and the bandwidth that's there.
Yeah, I mean, you could do something with memory and maybe try and optimize things to get those stream processes to work better.
Yep, but
it's not happening, dude. That's not happening. Look at there's
yeah,
all the
especially
games
for
here.
Ubisoft, it's not happening.
Look at the correlation here between all the games. And so yeah, what's the next one? 2, something with a 2 in it.
Modern Warfare 2.
Modern Warfare 2, 27% faster on the XT versus the GRE.
What? Hear me out. $300 more MSRP.
Well, 250, yeah. So,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Is
899.
Oh, okay. I've got the.
And it goes a lot cheaper actually. It can go down to. I think people have said they've seen it for $700. So, yeah. All right. Next up here we've got, what is this one?
Diablo, aka the Black Destroyer.
Okay, the Black Destroyer here is 34% faster than 100%. So that's huge, man.
Look
That's
the FPS you're getting. That's 180 FPS at 2K. 1440p.
that'd be ultra settings, yeah. Like everyone does Diablo on ultra settings. So that's pretty good. That's pretty solid.
Good card for that game.
Yeah. Next up here, part 1, The Last of Us.
Yep.
22% faster. So then you get into 110 versus 90. And even then, I think depends on the CPU they use. You can get some CPU limitations there. F1 2022, 24% faster. Wow, and then 21% faster on the 40K Warhammer. That'd be Warhammer. And then Far Cry 6, 20% faster.
So averaging around 20%.
Yeah, you're looking about 20% across the board, 20 to 25%, and this is at 1440p, better metric than 1080p because it's more GPU bound. So, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people wanted more, around 650 from AMD. I think they wanted, say, just 10% faster on the XT versus the GRE. But again, I would like to get this card, overclock it, and then see, especially that memory. Can we just smash that memory slider all the way, and will that help things? Because this looks like it's memory starved at the moment. So, yeah, that's a big topic. Also, yes, so sorry, we did get a donation in that time as well from Slow Hardware again. If you have a Radeon 7 Ratchet, will have no eyes, arms, or legs in the new Ratchet and Clank game. Okay, thanks for the donation.
Did you play Ratchet and Clank on the PlayStation?
I haven't played it yet, so...
Even the old ones?
No.
Oh, you're missing out. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so I got to play... Which is the best one, then?
Oh, well, I mean, I feel like anyone who answers that's just gonna be like nostalgia, but like the first one.
Okay. All right, I'll have to give it I'll check it out, Ratchet and Clank. I actually haven't played it yet. It's one of the games I haven't played.
Well, you need to get it for the benchmarks.
Did it start on consoles?
Yeah, it used to be PlayStation exclusive.
Okay, that would be why.
I mean, they recently did a... Oh, were you an Xbox guy?
No, I was PC guy, like pretty much all my life, dude. Except last console I was heavy into was N64, and then I pretty much just migrated to PC exclusively.
Wasn't that the same sort of eras?
PlayStation 1? Like,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I just was N64, Nintendo fanboy, and then I moved over to PC. So yeah, I got an excuse. Yeah. So how does 2004 Far Cry run at 1440p? No idea, man. No idea. I've not. We're gonna try and get a 7900 GRE, and then we'll try and do the test for you guys. So, so there we go. And also we'll go over to chat before we move over to the next. We got some actual more juicy topics here, but if you guys have there's a few questions. Right about ray tracing performance. I think the ray tracing performance will be in a very similar box, mainly because again it's looking at the memory bandwidth there, and that's starved. That's what it's looking like. So I'm guessing on the 7900 GRE. The XT is going to be about 20 to 25% faster in that metric too.
What the engine is, because I remember all the initial EA engines, like Battlefield, those wanted as much VRAM as you can give it for ray tracing on. Like that was basically the only difference that I think it was Digital Foundry found, like when Battlefield 5 first came out with RTX on. They're like, okay, the only difference is this is memory limited, this one isn't, like between two cards. Are you frozen again?
Oh man, sorry guys. This is the best stream you've ever had, except it's not. So, yeah, I gotta change it next time. Hey, I'm sorry about this.
You want to switch to webcam?
No.
Stream.
No, we're not switching to webcam. It's just the cable sticking out. Like I use the different cable because I'm using the one I usually use to power this 4K monitor right from my PC. So there is like, it's just a different, yeah. So there's just don't make me insecure, guys. Like I'm already insecure about the freezing cam, and we'll fix it on the next stream. And where's Gomer? Gomer's actually flying out tomorrow. He's in the parts hunt. Gomer was in the parts hunt, so he's flying out tomorrow. I'm going to try and meet up with him tonight as well. So he wants to see some fireworks. It's fireworks festival in Japan right now. So fireworks is everywhere. It's pretty cool. So definitely a good time to be in Japan. It's hot though. It's really hot right now. So peak temperatures is picking up. So ray tracing, I'd expect it to be very similar as you saw with those benchmarks on the 7900 GRE. Also with okay, and yeah, it's a professional stream. That's right.
Yeah.
So next up here is Asus takes over everything about Intel's current and future NUC mini PCs. So recent big news, Intel has dropped the NUC lineup here. They're not going to be going forward with this. So this is actually big news because a lot of like the word NUC was pretty much from Intel, right? They made the word NUC, and then everyone I talked to when they were making these small PCs and stuff, NUC, and that's all I heard. So yeah, that's anyway, NUC. Now it's like, what do you call it now? That's my biggest question is, what do we call this now? We still call it a NUC?
I think they didn't like make it exclusive, that branding. I'm pretty sure other companies could use that branding as long as it falls within the standards of it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like exclusively Intel, so it could still be a NUC, even like the article is saying. Asus is picking it up.
Okay, well that's good. How do you guys feel about this? I mean, I never really was into NUCs. I just know a lot of people would buy them. Like when I was doing parts hunts, Les would sell a lot of NUCs to small businesses and things like that, especially places setting up like new standalone like touch screens and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah,
they're very
especially
popular.
In, like, places like McDonald's, sorry, the international audience. Those you'd go up to the middle of the restaurant and they'd have that like a big touch screen that you could order your stuff on, and those were all running on NUCs. And a lot of like point of sale systems, like those touch screens that you just touch and you like put in your order and that sends it off to the F Plus machine, those are all running on NUCs. They were incredibly popular.
Well, I'm a mini ITX guy myself, so
yeah, but also that's a different class of PC because you've got a full graphics card. A lot of those NUCs were integrated graphics and mobile processors. And I think that ASRock were still making their own, like independent of the NUC brand. They were just taking mobile processors, putting them on a tiny board, and then just selling them as is.
Yeah, well, there's still a mini ITX PC. That's all you got to know. So
yeah, but the mobile processors don't have enough PCI lanes for a full GPU.
Yeah, but the main thing is, I think it is non-exclusive license, so Asus is going to be taking off where Intel is dropping off. So that's the... But speaking of Intel, this one segues perfectly in with Intel's financials, the big one coming out. People were scratching their heads. The second quarter revenue is down again, 15% year over year. Now, already going into this second quarter last year, things were on the way down. So this is actually, like, I'm looking at this, pretty bad results here for Intel. This is actually pretty bad. So the fact that it's down 15%, the revenue from last year, and you've had all that inflation come through as well in the last year too, on top of all that, generally, I mean, yeah, in tech, who knows what the real numbers are, but in general, if you're looking at inflation, you're looking at those numbers traveling through still across the board. So this has... like, it's eating into the company for sure. But then they've turned around and they're like, hey, guys, we did better than expected. Look at our earnings per share. I think they were expected to have a negative earnings per share this period, but they came in with a positive earnings per share, I believe it was. So they're expecting next quarter as well to be 4 cents. But then we look at, so 13 cents was their earnings per share. That's what they got. And people were like, whoa, I think the consensus was it would be negative. So Intel's come in with a better than expected result. Like a lot of people are scratching their heads. They're like, what's going on here? Everything's down except their foundry services are up. And that's picking up for them. But, I mean, that's still only a small chunk of their total revenue, especially the client computing group is the biggest one there, and then data center. So their two biggest sections have taken a massive drop of 12 and 15%. And their network and edge has taken a huge drop, 38%. So they're really sort of struggling in their main business sectors. And of course, AMD and NVIDIA are just eating out their profits in both these sections. But then we look at why did they become basically in the zone again, back in the green again, I guess. And that's because of this. This is the best way to describe it. This graph right here I'm pulling up on stream. You can just see the dividends just took a tank. They just tanked.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah. It's brutal, man. Look at that. That's their dividends. So their dividends have dropped 65%, 66%. So they've slashed their dividends 2/3.
What's the dividend percentage at the moment?
Hey?
What's the dividends at the moment?
Well, it's 12. They're paying 12 cents as opposed to last even February they paid a 36.
Nobody's gonna have their stock in Intel if they're.
Well, they're hoping they do a turnaround.
36.
So this is hoping that they put the money back into the company now, don't give it to investors, make it a growth company again, get back to growing Intel. That's the main direction that Intel's trying to put out.
To 10th gen. That's what we need.
That's
why the dividends have taken a dive. They don't make 10th gen anymore.
But it's a huge 10. That's what I mean. It all happened, guys, when they stopped making 10th gen. This is where things started going down for Intel. I mean, seriously, you could.
It was a joke, by the way.
No, you could see you can make these off the cuff jokes, but it's probably true. Like things started going downhill for Intel after they stopped making 10th gen. That's something. It just shows you how good 10th gen was. But yeah, anyway, people wanted more of it. People want more snappy CPUs. That's the bottom line. So we got the next topic up here though. AirTags. Huge news. AirTags.
Oh, yeah. So AirTags. Been a huge issue.
Okay, I got to find the article. All these tags. Okay, AirTags. But before we move on to AirTags and what's being done to address this problem, we got today's video sponsor. VIP SCD keys, guys. Links in description. If you want to cop that, use that coupon code BFTYC. Click apply, get a massive discount, and there we go. There, down to $15.40, all the way down. Huge discount. You get Windows 10. You can use it for Windows 11. It's a Pro key. Activates your motherboard for the lifetime. Good to go. Never had a problem with them. Links in description.
Well.
Yeah, they got Office too, so make sure you check that out.
I didn't realize that 2021 was also lifetime license.
Yeah.
Just one of them.
There we go. But we'll talk about the finance very soon. We'll go over to this AirTag job right here, which is actually a big thing in Japan. As soon as you linked me this article, I was like, yeah, we'll talk about this because this has been going on in Japan. Basically what happens is if you've got a nice car, it's mainly nice cars, they're talking Audis, BMWs or whatnot, a lot of this will be getting targeted by thieves. And what they'll do is they'll use these AirTags, slap them on the car, whatever means, double-sided tape or whatever, slap them on your car, track the car to where its location is and where it's stationary. Then they'll just come in and steal the keys and take the car when you're not there. So they'll know where the car is then. They'll know who's, they'll probably watch you for a day, watch your routine, and then they'll steal your car. And a lot of AirTags are being used here to steal cars. And so it's actually
there was also those man-in-the-middle keyless entry things where I was seeing videos of people going up to the front of the house with these essentially range boosters, trying to get people's keys to unlock the car without even breaking into the house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was a huge issue. And if you know where the car is, where they live, then it's just a matter of time.
Okay,
and there was also a big issue with stalking. People I'm pretty sure it was mainly in the US, but people would put AirTags in people's clothes, in their jackets, in their pockets, that sort of thing. And then they'd follow them home, and people didn't realize. And then Apple, they had a whole lot of backlash. They had to announce a software update to tell you if there's an AirTag that's not yours moving at the same time as you.
Yeah. So Marco just says one of the most brain dead comments I've seen. Fight back with more AirTags. Use your own AirTags to steal it back. Like, Marco, come on, man. I usually love your comments, but this one's doing my head in.
He's got a point. Just like take it back from their warehouse. Have like AirTags in the air vents where they can't get them, in the exhaust pipe, everywhere.
Okay, so you just you steal it back, right? You steal it back off the criminals who probably carrying dangerous weapons. They're probably, for whatever reason, you don't want to go to where they are. Your place is much safer. You got the high ground at your place. That's all I'm going to say. You got the advantage. They don't know your place. You don't know. They don't know your routine. For instance, I sleep with a pair of nunners on, right not beside my bed. That's just protocol, right? Like, that's probably something I've never said before, but I got a pair of nunners with me, man. That's it. Bang. That's like some king stuff, man. It's like, see all these tough guys running around. It's like, what are you going to do against that, dude? Like, good luck. So, yeah, that's me. But I don't know about you guys, but yeah, have a pair of nunchucks. That's the best. Anyway.
All right.
There's your defense against AirTag. Yeah. Let's get back to the topic anyway. Let's get back to the topic here. Bring this one away. What's been done?
Yeah. So basically, there was a software update for iPhones that you could download, or I'm pretty sure it was auto-downloaded on recent phones. That would tell you if you're being tracked. But then everyone's like, "Oh, what if you don't have an iPhone?" Especially for kids and like women, old people. Maybe they don't have the latest iPhone. So it was a big issue, and what Google did is they said, okay, here's an app that you can download that'll tell you if there's a tracker on you, but obviously nobody is going out of their way to do something like that. So now Android phones have sent out an update that will tell you if there's a tracker, even if it's an old phone, even if you don't download the update, even if you don't download the app. It's just part of the security update for the month.
Okay, that's good. I mean, hey, whatever can help fight this.
You don't have to go out and do anything. It's automatic.
That's good. I mean, you've got to stop the mainstream use of AirTags being used in the wrong way. So if this helps do that, then that's definitely a plus. So a lot of people just get it. What's the protocol? Especially your usual YOLO thief is going to be like, what do I do? The other guy's like, just grab this, stick it on the car and get this app. Away we go. So if it stops the YOLO, then that, like the YOLO thief, then that's the best, like the initial drop there. You'll have the advanced sophisticated thieves that'll have ways around it all, but at least you're going to be dropping the main, problem by doing that. We've also got some hot questions coming in. So one's Joe Darkness. He's like, I'm going to let you take this one. 4070 Ti or 7900 XTX, which one should I pick?
Depends on the price.
I would say it depends on what you're doing. Like, if I'm just gaming, 7900 XTX all day, every day. It's a beast of a card. Like, it is a beast.
Actually, have you tested the GPU encoding on AMD GPUs? Have they gotten better?
Like, I had problems with it, dude. I had to cut it out of my system. I made a video on that. That's what I was going on to now. I'm at a 4070 Ti right now, and the thing is, it just smashes through Adobe.
Damn.
Like, absolutely.
Made for it. Yeah.
Well, this is what I didn't realize, and this is what I even reviewed the 4070 Ti. I'm kind of embarrassed because I missed this point, and I think a lot of other people miss this point. You're literally getting 4090 features for video encoding and decoding in the 4070 Ti. It's actually the reason why the 4070 Ti should be on a lot of video editors' radars. It's a beast of a card, man. It's a beast of a card. Now, admittedly, if you're 8 gig video editing, so 8K, you're probably going to need that 24 gigabytes. But 4K video editing, 12 gigabytes is going to be absolutely fine for pretty much the majority of people with 12 gigabytes of VRAM. So that's sort of my experience there. It depends on what you do. But the 4070 Ti, I think it does cop a lot of crap, but it's a beast of a card. Like,
okay,
yeah.
No, but hear me out. I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit. I know you hate it. But a lot of people I've been seeing are asking for build recommendations, and they're going for AM5 because they want to stream. They don't realize that if you buy an NVIDIA GPU, you can use those same encoders that you use for shadow play to stream to Twitch, to stream to YouTube with basically no performance hit.
Oh, absolutely.
So if you're
and you get more of them. You get more That's the huge thing about the 4070 Ti. You get more simultaneous uses of the encoders and the decoders on the 4070 Ti versus say the 4070. So that's
if you're
big
streaming, video editing, then NVIDIA's pretty much the go-to at the moment. But if you're gaming, then it just depends on price.
Yeah. So MT Coiner, my man, thanks for the member for 10 months. Become a TYC supporter. That is what I love seeing that, man. We're bringing the different kind of content around here. We had yesterday's parts on 35 minutes. I was editing that video and I'm like, dude, I'm tired. Like it was like Sunday in the Arvo. Quickly got back from this trip. I'm like, I got to edit this video, and then I realized 35 minutes. I was like, dang. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. It was a huge one. The watch time on it's huge too. So it's like, yeah, pretty big. I was looking at the stats on that one. So had a really good time. So we'll go through with some more questions. Thinking of upgrading from a 3060 Ti to a used 6800 XT, or should I maybe wait for the upcoming 7800 XT? Well, the 6800 XT is going to be pretty much identical to the 7800 XT if we're talking about performance. That would be a guess off the top of my head. 3060 Ti is a fast card too, man. It's a fast card. I would personally just wait for the next generation after this. That would be if I had a 3060 Ti, I would just wait for 8000 series from AMD and also 5000 series from NVIDIA. I would just wait because I think the 7000 series, one thing that does let it down at the moment, especially with the higher end, I actually liked the RX 7600. I really liked the 7600. I thought it was a solid card. But I think the 7900 XTX and the XT and even the GRE now, they've got the chiplets, right? And they're having issues with idle power consumption and just balancing out the power. Even if you're gaming and say your GPU is using 70% and the game's CPU bound, the GPU is just full-fledged. I think Optimum Tech showed that in a video. It was actually really good that he showed that because that was a different picture that a lot of us aren't going to test for in our reviews. So that's sort of like an alternate test that I really appreciated watching that video because it was like, oh, okay, that's something else I didn't know. And that's actually something that's abnormal behavior for a GPU. A GPU shouldn't be doing that. It should be scaling its power with how much FPS it's putting out in terms of its max percentage usage. So that was a really weird one when he was showing that some of these games, hey, this thing's just going off the charts, even though it's not thing. So yeah. So okay, people are talking about having firearms instead of nunchucks. Okay. I mean,
maybe
guys,
if you live in certain countries that...
Dude, if I got caught one of them in Japan, I'd be deported like immediately, dude. Like immediately, you're on a like boat. They wouldn't even give you a plane ride out of here. I don't think you'd be getting like chucked on a container, bang, out you go. Like that's brutal, man. So yeah. Who would win? Okay, so guys are going on. This is what I love tech because it always goes into cars, women, or just male sort of things. So it's funny that you gotta love it. So MT Coin, a $5 donation. Thank you very much, brother. I've been watching you for years, though. You're responsible for my PC flipping addiction. Montana, USA has a tough used market, though. I have to use eBay often. So, yeah, I mean, the market's it's just 2023 in general, dude. It's a tough market in general. Times are tough right now. Like, if we look at what we said in the intro of the video, times are tough, right? Like, the inflation's up. You're paying more for your groceries and everything, and a lot of people have their pay rises have not gone anywhere up near the rate of those inflations of everyday goods. So in other words, a lot of people have less spending money. Interest rates are going up. It depends on what country you live in, but in Australia, a lot of people locked in on variable interest rates, right? So their savings have just taken an absolute massive dump. So you're going to find it...
How do loans work in Japan? Are they...
They're variable as well. They're variable, but interest rates virtually never go up here. So
are they guaranteed for a certain amount of time? Like
no, they're just variable. They're variable here too.
From the beginning.
I'm pretty sure they're variable from the beginning. Because the Japanese aren't used to having interest rates go up, so no one cares. Like,
so basically, the fixed interest rate.
If interest rates do go up here, man, it's going to be so crazy because I think the JGB, they've let the yield curve go up to 1% now, and that's sort of shaking things up. Now, see, they've got to defend the currency. Like, if things are getting too, because people are just borrowing yen, right? All the shadow banking system right now is a lot of people are just borrowing yen and buying USD and collecting the interest. It's called the carry trade. So they've got to defend against that. And they've only got limited amount of treasury funds, which they have to use for a rainy day. But bottom line is, you can defend that by just letting interest rates go up. And as soon as that happens, it's like, whoa, all these carry traders are suddenly nervous and they're sweating because a lot of them are using margin. So a lot of them are using $10 million trades off $1 million. And all of a sudden, these guys are sweating because the value is just crashing so fast, so quickly. And so that's something to be aware of with the Japanese yen. When it starts appreciating, it can appreciate very quick. And so I think that interest rate perspective in Japan could catch a lot of people off guard too. So, but speaking, we might as well just segue into finance since we're already halfway through a little bit of a topic here. But so basically, yeah, well, AirTags. I mean, AirTags, guys. Just remember your AirTags, your good old AirTags. There's actually
keep your phone up to date.
Yeah, keep your phone up to date. Pretty much when it says keep my phone, like, yeah, I mean, to be honest, man, like, my phone's my phone. It's a bloated piece of crap anyway. So it's just my main PC. I care about keeping the bloat to a minimum on my main PC. Sorry?
Which phone are you using at the moment?
The Flip. I've had this for a while now, so I'm actually over it. I never use the Flip anymore. I just want a bigger single screen
that's
phone.
That's what I've been telling everyone who's got it. It's like, yeah, it's gimmicky, but are you ever going to unfold it?
It's novelty. I will admit, if you're on a plane, which I'm not really on a plane much at all, it is very useful on a plane.
Unfolded is like 40%, maybe even more, is just like black bars.
Okay. So
would you not be better with a bigger phone?
And then there's a thing, like, the biggest thing that annoys me about this phone is typing. It always gets the typing wrong when I'm typing on it. So it's actually the keyboard on it's annoying.
I've seen you in Taiwan, like, you're trying to type something, it's not working, you just unflip it out of rage.
Yeah,
like, I've
so
that a
that's
few times.
okay. Yes, so you can attest to that. Probably Marco even saw it too. So that's a funny thing. So, but yeah, let's move on to this. This is the one here, the big one that no one's really talking about. I looked at this. I look at different finance news, but the Federal Reserve members, they had a vote, and it was 4-2, and that was the new capital rule. So they're bringing in a new capital rule, right? And this is the thing with the Federal Reserve. They've been making all these new shadow bank, or not shadow bank, but these new banking facilities and things like that, right? Where they made the discount window so people can sell their bonds back to the Fed, borrow money. Sort of that was considered, new quantitative easing by the markets. But then they've got this one, and this one's like literally no one's talking about this. And this is the raising the big banks to have more reserves. And Jerome Powell's apparently against it. But a lot of the other bankers, a lot of the other Fed members were like, no, this is good. It's going to keep the banking system safer because they have to carry more reserves. But when you do that, when you raise the reserve requirements, they're going to get that cash from somewhere, right? So then they got to start dumping things. And so if you dump things, values of those things go down. And then you collect that cash. Now, of course, what happened? It's for me, it's like a pre-catalyst to a proper 2008 style crash again. So this is the one to be aware of here. And actually they reference 2008 in this article. So, fortify the banks and the failure of the banks. And we want to stop the banks from not having enough reserves so there's no bank runs. And it's like, well, in the process of doing that, you're sort of making it, you're trying to correct a thing that should have always been corrected from the start. Yeah. And that's honest money. The banks don't have, what is it like? How much? I mean, I would have to fathom a guess as to how much money the banks actually have. Like, if everyone was to go out and take out all their money out of the banks, how much percentage of that would happen before the banks have no money left? And I think it's like 5 or 10%. I forgot the number.
Really? That's it.
They don't have, they don't have your money. They just borrow it everywhere else and lend it to someone else or buy some other assets and try and get returns. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah, because when I studied finance in university, there's all these ratios that they use. So they're within 3 standard deviations, right? So basically how they calculate things is, okay, how much is the average person going to take out of their money every day? So if you say, for instance, you got 100 grand, how much would the average person take out max? It'd be like 10 grand. So they're going to do these figures from there and say, okay, well, the max we're ever going to have in one day for a bank run would be 10% statistically. So we should only keep 10% of reserves on hand. So they've got all these formulas where but the thing is, they don't account for anomalies. And anomalies is if people panic and start saying, well, crap, the banks don't have our money. I'm going to go get it all out. And so that's the anomaly. And that's the anomaly they don't account for. And so in this case, it can happen so much faster and so much quicker because we got more digital banking now. We saw that with Silicon Valley Bank. They went bankrupt overnight because just all these billionaires were moving money. Like, yeah, I'm out of here. See you later. Take my money out. And they got to, like, legally, they have to let them take that money out, and they don't have it. So what happened? Silicon Valley Bank went under. So this is the biggest problem. Is like, so they're raising these reserve requirements, and then the bank's like, well, we got to sell off stuff, and we don't want to lose money. So it really creates a pre-catalyst, again, like I said before, to 2008-like conditions where suddenly everything's crunching, everyone's selling assets, and then as those assets get sold, people who say, for instance, they're doing carry trades or they're doing margin lending on stocks, suddenly they're losing money, and the broker has to sell their assets. And so it becomes this, like, literally this snowball that just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and things crash down. So I think that's the concern that Powell had here. But at the same time, it's like, well, you've got this literally this fiat Ponzi system in play. It's like,
Ponzi in what way though?
Well, you can't taper a Ponzi scheme because the whole system revolves around the next guy borrowing more money to create more money to create inflation. That's the system we live in right now. Well, the money's not backed by anything.
Wasn't the big issue with all these crypto like exchanges going under that they had long-term debt or long-term investments and that sort of stuff? So when there was runs, we still have your money, but
no, they scammed. They were just.
I know a lot of them were scams, but like,
they were just scams. Like they just took people's money and straight away just spent it. Like took it out, like withdrew the money and went and spent it. Like Bahamas, here we come. Like, guys, you're gonna make so much money on your returns. Like so much returns on your money. It's like all promising absolute BS. And a lot of people fell for it. The saddest thing was a lot of the influencers and like that got on board with that. I was really like shocked that like some of them, I think wasn't Logan Paul was like scamming his viewers or something?
We just saw like the true side of people. It's like some people just don't have that high morals and they'll do anything for a paycheck.
It's just disgusting, man. I think it's disgusting. How can you not put yourself in someone else's shoes? Like they work hard, they save a bit of money, and they just want to make a little bit more on their returns. They just want to get some get some honest investment and say, hey, wouldn't mind making a bit of money back. And instead, they just get hosed, completely hosed. They've lost all that hard work. And that's kind of what I think a lot of these people don't care. They're just emotionally void. And they just don't care about the average person. It's actually really sad. And I think that's happening more and more now as society sort of takes its dump.
You just see people with looser morals. Like,
much more, man.
You see some people, like, with these crypto endorsements, and they know, okay, it's risky. I shouldn't be promoting this to my audience. Then you can tell, like, they'll do anything for a paycheck. Should I really be watching their other content?
Absolutely not. That's my opinion. Yeah. Like, that's, for me, it's
no, that's just the question you need to ask yourself. Is their other content worth it? Is it their other content not biased enough? Like, that sort of stuff.
I don't know, but that's, again, all circling back on this conversation we just had. It's a big reason why I'm living in Japan right now. It's one of the more honest, westernized sort of... even though it's East, Asia and whatnot, but it's got all the luxuries you'd have in Australia. So it's a much more honest country, I think, than dare I say Australia. Sorry, I love Aussie. I'm Aussie, but like, dude, there's so much like
the
crap.
prices are getting
It's just everything, man. The lies and the BS is insane. Like before I left, but
I need to show you my friend got a letter saying, here's how your taxes are being broken down, and some of the things that they're spending your money on is just ridiculous. I'll show you after stream.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's just got a lot of personal information on it, so it's not gonna...
Yeah, definitely not. So
we got a donation from Slow Hardware, $5 New Zealand. Best recession food. And also, should I keep my 6950X for a while longer?
So he said, okay, Slow Hardware. Thanks for the $5 donation, bros. Best recession food. Yeah. I'm going with baked beans. That's off the top of my head. Yeah, dude, I'm a baked beans advocate here at Tech Yes City. Even though Frame Chasers said he tried a can, he just absolutely hated it. He just doesn't know what he's doing. You got to cook them up a little bit. Like, even if you can't get access to a microwave, you got like, do the whole ancient thing. Just get a stick on a rock.
Electricity is too expensive for a microwave.
Dude,
that's why you get a fire
Yeah, but you can like cook the baked beans on the fire. You just take the label off. So you got the tin can there, bro. You can cook them up. Like they're easy to cook. They're just so versatile, baked beans. So
I would say my recession food would be like the cheapest table spread and toast. Like that'll fill you up.
Okay.
Yeah, just bread. Like it's so cheap and it'll fill you up because carbs fill most people up. Some people it doesn't. That'll just make you feel full, even though you're not eating a lot.
Also,
that's what we did in recession.
Yeah. So also, should I keep my 6950X for a while longer with a 3080 Ti? I mean, yeah, if you got both of them, yeah, keep them both. They're both pretty good. I mean, whatever floats your boat. Or do you want to change from a 6950X to a 3080 Ti? I mean, it depends on what you do. If you're just gaming, keep the 6950X. Oh, sorry, is he 6950XT? Is it? Wait, what?
I'm not sure. That's why I got a bit tripped up.
I'm a little bit confused on that one. But see, if you've got a 6950 XT, it's a really good GPU.
Yeah.
Like, you can't go wrong with that. In fact, I would argue that RDNA 2 could even be considered better than RDNA 3 on the high end, because you don't have those power problems that were presented with RDNA 3. So that's the weirdest thing. So you get better. Like, there was no idling issues with RDNA 2. There was no, like, using 50% of the GPU but still using max power. So, yeah, I think in general, RDNA 2 is a great architecture to be on, and just wait out and see what the future brings. Yeah. So that would be my sort of recommendation there. So, yeah. Anyway,
all right. Let's tofu, you don't even need to cook. That's one above both of us. But
tofu's got an end of life though, man. It's like, we're talking proper, like, end of days as well. Like, baked beans has got it all covered. If Mount Fuji blows the next day, then if Mount Fuji is gone, that's actually there's a big thing in Tokyo right now. It's like they're actually worried about Mount Fuji blowing.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Like, it's gone from there's 5 levels, right? So I think it was like before 2019, it was like 2018. I forgot exactly when, but it was a level 1, so it was no risk. Now it's a level 3.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's like it hasn't just jumped up 1 level; it's jumped up 2 levels.
Wasn't Toyota building like a whole smart city at the base of Mount Fuji? That would.
Well, they're sweating right now, then, because like,
how dense is that Mount Fuji area? Like around the mountains? How dense is it?
No, there's lots of people, dude. So many people around Mount. Like, not around, like, but there's village, towns. Tokyo's pretty close. I mean, there's like cities are really close to Mount Fuji.
Like, if it blew, like, how much damage would it be doing to like how? Well,
the worst case scenario would be Tokyo would. Like, I actually spoke to someone on the weekend. I just get into weird conversations when I get drunk, dude. Like, I'm just at this hotel. I'm just walking around. Some Japanese dude's like, "Hey, you're where are you from?" I'm like, "From Australia." And then he works like in government doing like sewage pipes and stuff. Like, cool. Did you know there's 16,000 kilometers of pipes in Tokyo?
Wow.
Yeah, that's huge, right? It's like a trip to Australia and back. Now, he was telling me they've actually got like contingency plans if Mount Fuji blows. They said the worst case scenario that they've estimated was about a blanket of 5 centimeters of ash or 10 centimeters of ash. So 5 inches, I think it was. So 5 inches of ash. So that's pretty huge, man. Like, that thing's gonna. What would the
contingencies of that be? Like, if you've got 5 inches of ash, that's
that's what they're planning for. And so, like, if that happens, then they've got a plan to quickly roll out and get the place cleaned up.
Oh, they're planning. They don't have a contingency.
Well, that's what they plan the worst case scenario would be.
Okay.
So that's how, and then, you'd obviously, it'd just be chaos. They did say that. It'd be very, very difficult. So, but they're aware of it. And so that was something. It's just interesting, talking to different people. I just love chatting to people and hearing different things. So, kind of funny that. So, yeah. And that's, you want an N95. That's when you really want that N95 mask, not when you're out in, like, some dude sneezed or something like that. I don't think you have to worry too much about that, but it's when a volcano blows, that's when you really want a proper mask.
Aren't they also meant to be like only used up to like 6 hours per use, and then you're meant to throw them out?
I don't know.
Pretty sure like
yeah, well, you got the one I've got. You got a little detachable thing. So
the filters.
You can quick change the filter. Change the filter. Hot swap it. That's it. So, yeah. Is there any news I can find is for crowd control, hikers, and tourists? Oh yeah, they wouldn't want you knowing like level 3 from level 1, dude. So, for me, it's like, okay, what's going on. Like I've just got, that's why I got the snappiest system. That's why I got 10th gen, man. 4000 DDR, so I can quickly get on the website as soon as if I hear a big blow. You know, I'm straight away on Jetstar. Yeah, I'm straight away booking a flight, getting out of here. That's my contingency plan, and you need the snappiest. Yeah, you need. That's what I'm telling people. Like, when's this latency going to matter? It's going to matter for booking my flights. That's when you need the snappiest system available, is if you need a hike. So you got 10th gen for that, right? You got 10th gen for that. So. Yeah, but I've been getting asked a lot of questions. Like, so we got the.
You said you're still on that 4000. Is that stable?
Yeah. It's good. Yeah, 4000. You have to up the SA. So you've got to up the SA and the IO quite significantly, which I'm a bit nervous about because I don't know how 1.28 volts going to go on your SA or your IO for how long, because I know over 1.3 is starting to get a bit dangerous. So you have to up those voltages on the CPU to handle that. So the IO is usually for memory speeds, SA is usually for timings, and when you got tighter timings. So yeah.
I think I might stick with 3600. Seems like a sweet spot.
Yeah, and so Vocal Ninja says, if that PC was any snappier, half the population would disappear. Exactly, my man. Exactly.
That was the wrong time to take a bottle of water.
That's So Slow Hardware, he says, sorry, I meant the i7-6950X. Oh. It's at 4.4 gigahertz and 3200 megahertz CL14 in quad channel, dude. That's pretty banging, man. That's pumping. Cool, that's pumping, dude. That's pumping. Like for Broadwell, it's actually kind of difficult to get 4 sticks.
Yeah, the quad channel
at 3200. Yeah, like you know what you're doing with that CPU. That's all I'll say. That's pretty solid.
That like 10 cores, 20 threads?
Yeah, it's basically the same thing. It's like almost the same thing as a 10850K or something like that. It's actually pretty solid, dude. I'd be sticking on that CPU, man. That's really nice. I was actually going to do a video about this exact CPU. I started testing it out a little bit until everyone wanted to see the snap on AMD and the snap on so many other things. So I kind of put it.
Did you end up getting that 11900?
What's this?
Did you end up getting that 11900?
Yeah, I got 11900K. Yeah, on the parts hunt. Yeah, so that's going to get tested.
Sorry, I'm only halfway through the parts hunt.
Yeah, that's right.
I was watching this morning while I was waiting for you to.
Oh yeah, it's a big one, man. It's a big one, dude. It's a big one. So
the most professional stream.
That's it. Well, the most professional stream has now become actually professional. So how's that? But yeah, that CPU, I would not be upgrading that thing, dude. You got the CL14 as well. That's the B die. That's actually like 60. Is that 64 gigabytes in quad channel? Because that's like that kit of DDR4, I believe, is not. It's actually becoming rare now because nothing can match it. At least from what I'm researching, nothing matches the B die, the DDR4 B die, Samsung. It's like it's really good stuff for consumer grade clocks and things like that. So really good CPU and combo you got there. And also got Thunder Turbine 88. Keep up the awesome work, bruv. Yeah, thanks, brother. Also, Mount Fuji will eventually blow. That's possible and will definitely happen in the near future. Yeah, I mean,
with enough time, anything's possible.
It's just because it hasn't happened in so long. On average, it does have a big blow every 300 years, and you're already past that big blow. So that's the thing about it. Like that's why people are nervous. Like, and so yeah, it may happen in a decade, it may happen in 2 decades, but they predict it'll happen in the next 20 years. That's kind of like scary. So yeah, but it's just something to be aware of, something to be aware of. And apparently there's one in the US as well. I don't know much about it. There's like the super volcano in the US that's like, if you go like in that place, apparently the ground tremors a little bit too.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's next level crazy. So it's actually Hynix A die. Wasn't Hynix A die DDR4 garbage? I thought isn't C die the better stuff?
Samsung A die was bad. Micron C, I don't remember. Something like that. I went down this rabbit hole and
there's heaps. I know Samsung B die, however, is very good stuff. Yellowstone, people are correcting me. Yeah, so it's Yellowstone. That's the one. Okay.
There you go.
Oh, thanks for that. So 3200 megahertz CL 14 G skill 5 years strong. Wow. Okay. And he's overclocked it to 4000 CL17 at 1.5 volt. I mean, would you want to be running that at 1.5 volt for 5 years? Like 5.5 volt, you can do that for 5 years on DDR4. That's crazy. That's really good. Because I was kind of like 1.4. I'm too chicken to go over 1.4 volts just for long term on DDR4. So have you got some cooling on that? That's actually interesting. Have you got like any RAM cooling, or like is there sort of a
one
fan?
Of those Corsair,
Is it getting fresh air? Like is it getting fresh air basically? Because like my mini ITX, it's kind of it's not like the most airflowy setup there, so I'm kind of nervous about doing any higher than 1.4 volt. Technically, it's considered overdue. At least it's not the Yellowstone supervolcano. That being said, overdue for a supervolcano is a bit of an iffy term. Okay, cool. Like, so nothing to worry about until it happens. Yeah, don't be worrying. Like, don't be losing sleep over a volcano blowing. Just be, all you can do is be ready, right? Have a gas, like I've got gas masks here for me, the missus and the boy. That's it. So you just be ready. Have some backup food, emergency food. So it's like, it's not going to think about it outside of that. But yeah, people want to talk about super volcanoes. We can, chat goes anywhere. This is that part of the stream where the chat can go anywhere you guys like it to go. Because we're pretty much done with the topics. Did we cover everything?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, we covered the GRE. So the GRE is, I guess, people don't really care. Like, actually looking at the chat, people just don't care about the GRE. That's, I guess, the general consensus. And I'm like, meh, it's pretty much like, meh. It's not great. It's not bad. It's not
hard for an in-between price.
It's just, yeah, in-between product for an in-between price. Perfectly summed it up. So I'm not too summed up. This is, I'm not too... thing about it. I did see not an Apple fan, like he's just like, dude, he's just like, it's like AMD just betrayed him or something. He feels so, on a vendetta? I don't know, man. He feels betrayed by AMD, and I'm like, yo, dude, like we got a video coming out very soon tonight about, you know, why you shouldn't be attached to AMD, Intel, or NVIDIA. Because they're owned by the same dudes. Like, the biggest shareholders are all the three same companies. So it's like, who cares, guys? Like, you're going to keep getting served up this formula of efficiency where they can make the most money possible. Like, that's what you're going to get as a PC gamer. So, yeah, they're not going to, like, people are talking about Battle Mage. Oh, Battle Mage is going to come and save the day, man. Battle Mage is coming, bro. And it's like, no, Battle Mage is coming. And if it's not good enough, it's going to be discounted so they can get rid of it. And if it is good enough, it's going to have a profit margin in there. So take your pick. What do you want? It's not like Intel's not coming to save the day, fellas. I hate to break the news to you.
Intel like a 4090 killer. They're not pricing it less than a 4090. Like if they did, it would be like only marginally. They're not doing it.
Now that being said, there is the strategy that AMD used with Ryzen 1st, 2nd, and 3rd gen penetration. And if any other tech tuber that was at those events can vouch, AMD behind the scenes was just constantly talking about penetration. They wanted to take market share from Intel, so they priced those deliberately to get that market share. Then we have a look at 5,000. Then we look at 7,000. What happened with those CPUs? Prices went up. So it's like you may get Battle Mage may have that penetration pricing model, but it doesn't matter. After 2 generations, you're going to get served up again with the same formula in the GPU space. And it's kind of like, it's sad to say it, but that's just me being cynical about the whole thing. So don't get your hopes too high for Battle. I mean, I've got my hopes high, but like I've got my hopes low as well. I'm on both. I'm playing both sides. It's like, you know, why not? Because it's just like, don't care. I mean, basically, don't put any emotional energy into these products.
Yeah, don't fanboy an unreleased product. Like, there's no point.
Okay, so we got here from Hamza Jude, and they ask, hopefully I didn't butcher his last name, Canadian $5. Thanks for the donation, brother. Found at a 3080 EVGA graphics card for $400. That's Canadian, I'm guessing. Worth getting to replace my 3060 Ti. If it's Canadian 400,
that's good.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. Like, that's a good deal. I would go for that, and then I'd just sell your 3060 Ti. And 3080 is a pretty good sizable boost over the 3060 Ti.
Yeah.
It was like, that was my GPU brackets. Like 3060 Ti was a lot faster than 3060. 3080 is a lot faster than 3060 Ti. 3070 is not so much faster than 3060 Ti. Kind of similar, like especially if you overclock 3060 Ti. And then you got 3090 being in the same league as the 3080. Like, they're actually in the same league kind of thing. Yeah, it's 10% more, but still. Yeah. Hoard those baked beans for an emergency. Exactly. Should be hoarding baked beans. That's it. And scalping them once you're done. That's the GPU formula there. So we got here, even in Australia, all the volcanoes in Victoria and South Australia are 2,000 years overdue for another episode. 7,000 years is when those volcanoes went off last. Oh, wow, okay. But I think with Australia, like, isn't it because, like, we've got that massive plate, right? And all the volcanoes are kind of, like, trapped underneath that big plate now. So if we look at, say, on the Gold Coast anyway, we got there was a super volcano there at Mount Tamborine at one stage, right? That was huge. It's like actually a big whole crater there. And it's like, well, that whole plate's just moved since then. So it's like, if there was a volcano there, isn't it? It's like, I can't get out. I can't do anything, guys. So the pressure just goes to New Zealand or something. I don't know. Feel sorry for the Kiwis, but that was kind of like my understanding of it anyway. It's like, I don't think, like, at least on the Gold Coast, you don't have to, like, worry about anything there. So it's just with Mount Fuji, that thing's got the potential to blow. Because it's just, open door sort of thing. Can be an open door. Did the VRAM boogeyman come by here? Actually, no. I put the VRAM boogeyman to bed earlier in the stream. Someone asked a question.
Yeah, no, so he was here.
We buried him, dude. Yeah, we just buried him. Like, the VRAM boogeyman got buried on the stream. Okay, sorry. I think I know what it is.
Oh, is it your camera again?
Yeah, no, it clicked this time. It gave out a boom, boom. So yeah, it's just basically something was loose, man. I don't know. I'm gonna look into it after the stream anyway. So I'll have to get a better cable for it. So poor little capture card box. Probably just use a different capture card for the stream. So I've got one. So I got the Ava Media. So that's really good. I've never had problems.
One that you
no, this is like for my video cam. I just use this banger Amazon HD capture one. So. Nice. But yeah, it's like the USB slot is actually, it's either the HDMI half hanging out of my camera or the USB slot's like so loose that, yeah, because I do, like, I am rough with all my tech products. Like, I'm not going to lie, just like connect it up, bang, all right. Yeah, and some people just baby their tech products. You know, it kind of annoys me though. One thing that does trigger me is like when someone's like unboxing a product and they're so slow, they're like taking the little peel off and stuff like that. And I remember I was helping this dude build a new PC one time, and he's like just unboxing his stuff so petitely. I'm like, dude, you know, I'm here to help you get your PC built. So I just grabbed the GPU out of his hands, ripped the plastic off, like shove it in the computer, and his face is like, oh my! It's like, dude, you know, time is money, dog. Like I gotta get, you know, I want to eat after this. So it's like, this is funny that some people can be so petite and slow with their stuff, and it's like,
a lot of people don't realize how durable they're meant to be made. Like if it's not made to a certain standard, then it's a bad product.
Oh, dude, back in the day, I was dropping hardware.
If you take out like a GPU out of the box and you drop it back onto the foam from like 30 centimeters and something breaks off, that's a badly built GPU.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny because like I back I think 2017 or something, I did a video. I was dropping hardware off of like 2 stories, and a lot of it was just surviving, dropping GPUs as well. I mean, admittedly, the stuff was probably made a bit stronger back then, thicker PCBs and whatnot, but. I mean, yeah, computer hardware should be very strong. So just don't put like screwdrivers or anything near it. So, yep, there is a super volcano on the Gold Coast. Only a matter of time before the magnet gets to the surface somehow. Okay. And that super volcanic chain is 3 times as large as Yellowstone. Okay, dude, now you're scaring me. Look, I just did not want to know that, man. Now that's in my head, dude. Oh.
He's never doing that to us. Can't live in Japan, can't live in the US.
That's brutal, man. I just did not want to know that, okay? Thunder Turbine just ruined my Gold Coast perfection. Like, you're living on the Gold Coast, everything's perfect, right? Everything's perfect. Now I'm going to be nervous when I go back to the Gold Coast, right? There could be a problem. There could be like a Hollywood movie coming out, like, you know, the golden magma coast from the Gold Coast. Best 1440p GPU. But it depends on the generation. 4070 Ti for the new cards. I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. The 4070 Ti, if it comes down as well, like I got one for a pretty decent price. My friend got one. Goma got one. Like 4070 Ti is actually a king card. Like it's a pretty good card. I'm not gonna lie, man. Like,
did you get them locally?
7. I ended up. I thought initially it was like 715 USD. I did bad calculation in my head for that one because admittedly I had some drinks in Tokyo, but it was like 770 USD. But it was the one I wanted for me personally. After I looked at Goma got the deal. It was a Gigabyte Rev 2. It's a revision. It's actually a revision 2. One. So they recently revised the Eagle and they made it smaller, and so it fits in mini ITX builds now. And so that's what I'm on now for the main system. So
it fits in ITX builds. Meanwhile, you're on a call with me for like 20 minutes. Like, I didn't get it in. It's so close. It's not going in.
LTT like enters chat. Oh, if he did, man, it's like, bro, send me to LTX Expo. Everyone's like, where are you, Brian? Where you can wait at LTX Expo? I didn't get an invite, man. I feel lonely. I feel sad. Admittedly, though, Luke did tell me to email him, and I just was like, I was too tired to be honest. Yeah, I was just too
hectic.
Yeah, dude.
We only had one day off.
Yeah, it was hectic, man. Computex was hectic, but apparently everyone's there. Like, everyone's telling me it's really good. Like, it's actually a lot of fun. So, yeah,
I think he was saying LTT enters chat about dropping things.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool. That'd be yeah. He drops things all the time, right? Is dropping the hardware the last resort to fixing it? No, bashing it is bashing, dude. No, bashing. Nah, bashing your hardware is the last resort. And like I've had actually quite a few bash fixes in the past. Like, to be fair, yeah.
To be fair, I know more than 2 people who used to have systems that like, oh, this would stop working. You just need to hit it and then it starts working. That's more than 0.
Yeah, it's a short, man. Like, it's just a short somewhere. I think if you bash it, it might like kink the thing off so it's not shorting anymore. It's like, yeah, it works. Hey, if it works, it works. But yeah, bashing's my last resort. So, okay. So, but it'll be unlikely to go off in 1,000 years. Okay, so please stay calm. Okay. If there's a warning sign, just tell me the warning signs, man. I just know the ground shaking is the warning sign that something's getting pretty bad. So, all right. I like the video you did with level 1 tech. Yeah, that was so much fun, dude. Wendell's so cool, man.
Wendell's so good.
Yeah. So, 2080 Ti versus 6700 XT. That's a good question. I'd go for the 6700 XT. That's just me. But like for gaming, just for gaming.
Depends on price.
Yeah, I mean for content creation, 2080 Ti. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean just NVIDIA does have that advantage actually. After using both like recently, it's just like, yeah. I mean it depends on what you're doing too, but. Yeah. Okay. Expo in Japan. Okay, that'd be cool. Yeah, we should do like the Tech Yes Expo in Japan. Have a bit of fun.
If you're in Japan, just message Brian on Twitter. He's more than likely to have a drink with you. You get the private experience.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends. I like pretty busy. I just can't just drop a hat and go to Tokyo. But like, yeah, if I'm in Tokyo and you're in Tokyo at the same time, it's like, yeah, send me a message on Twitter and we can have a bit of fun.
You want to buy something?
Okay, cool, man. All right, well, yeah. Any other topics before we sort of jump on out of here? Is there any pressing concerns, or I think the biggest one, the biggest news was this GRE, but it's kind of like, it was, yeah.
Well, I mean, we've never really been like a brand new buy channel. It's always been like, what's the best value, and buying new is never going to be that. So. Yeah. Sorry that we're not super like enthusiastic over a brand new product.
I think you know what Intel's releasing, right? You know they've got 14th gen. What's the latest news with that? So what's the latest news with 14th gen Intel, right? 14th gen 14900K. Are they changing it to Ultimate too soon? Like what's the go there? It's
the Core Ultra. Yeah, instead of Core I.
So it's coming out apparently October 19, the 14900K. But it's just going to be a refresh. It's pretty much going to be a refresh. That's
way later than everyone at Computex was saying. No, it's like within 2 months. So they've pushed it back, I guess.
Probably so many 13900Ks you got to get rid of, dude. So I don't know. I just wanted to get like I just wanted to release a model now that's like the 10800K success or 10900K successor. I just want to release raw performance cores, lowest latency possible. Stop giving us this E-core crap. I'm tired of Cinebench benchmarks. I'm over it. I don't want it. Just get back to giving me a fast, low latency, snappy CPU. None of this E-core crap. I'm tired of E-cores.
AMD's got the X3D as a like sort of branch off. What if Intel did a branch off where they're like, okay, it's not going to get the most Cinebench scores.
Yeah.
But we've got ring bus.
Yeah.
It's $200 more. Would you buy it?
Yeah, man. That's straight away. Like, that's what you want. Like, I've realized now. I've realized, especially after doing this 10th gen switch, I've realized it's not about like Cinebench benchmarks at all for me anymore. If you're looking for productivity, man, look at an application that's going to utilize your GPU power. That just trumps CPU power any day of the week. You're going to get so much more work done if you can utilize your GPU.
Time, it's not marketable. Like, it'll be snappier. How? How's that marketable?
Just have like a little GIF showing the working on it from Windows.
3% more Cinebench. It's like, or 0.05% more latency.
I want the lower latency. Speaking of lower latency, we've got a new addition to the family here. Look at that. That's the Evnia, the lowest input latency for a monitor I have ever tested. That thing is 0 to 1 milliseconds of input delay. We've got a video coming out very soon for that one. Stay tuned for that. It's a snappy monitor. That's all. So lately, I've been just changing my life for snap. That's all you need to know. And I couldn't be happier as well. Snap me.
Did you end up getting the...
What?
You don't want to be on that 50% of Thanos' snap?
No. Do you want to be?
No, I just don't know why you want to be that.
Yusuf, I'm not feeling too well. Okay.
Did you end up getting the Ambilight working for that monitor? Did you even try it?
Yeah, I tried it. Yeah, it works. Yeah, it's good, man. It's really nice. Like it obviously you want
the wall. So,
but it's too bright right now. Even if I had it on, you'd barely see it. So.
Oh, that's right. You only moved it today.
Yeah, I only moved today, man. I only set it up today, and I've
already
already
got a picture of it when it's dark.
I will. Thing is, you got to have it. You want it. It's when you're playing in the dark. That's when it really comes to life. Like it does really match the ambient.
A lot of OLEDs just look better in the dark.
They look amazing, man. This one's really good. So we got the reason why this one's really. I mean, it's pricey and it's back ordered, but yeah,
Philips is going to be pricey.
I mean, for a brand like this is the thing with Philips. They've come into the monitor game. Philips have come into the monitor game and just blown me out of the park in terms of features and everything on this monitor. Like, wow. Why aren't other monitors? Why is Asus releasing monitors with input lag or whatnot when these guys are coming out? One of their first gaming monitors, literally 0 input lag. 0. It's almost like a CRT experience.
Yeah.
Incredible. Like, you got to give them credit for that. And then they go with the OSD, 27-inch mode manual. You can change it down to a 27-inch monitor if you want to. 24-inch monitor, and then the crosshair. You'll see the crosshair in the video when I drop the review. The crosshair looks amazing. The on top crosshair. It's like people just. It's like whoever designed it said, "Hey, this is good," and then they got other opinions, and they're like, "This is good. This is good." Yeah, everyone's like, "This is good," instead of just like one authoritarian dude being like, "I think this is the best way." They don't even try it. They're not even a gamer. The masses are gonna love this, and it's like, no. That's not how it works, dude. So, yeah, the QD OLEDs, it's taken like main center stage now. I'm going to edit videos in 1440p, even though they're 4K. So, that's the weird thing.
I mean, to be fair, you were never full screening your timeline anyways. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's it's a weird one. So. Slow hardware, another $5 NZ. Thanks, brother. W7 2495X is monolithic. All P cores and 24 cores can be overclocked too. But the thing is, when you start going too many cores too, that adds to latency. So you got to balance, the cores and the threads and the. That's what I found too. Like I had
Is that ring bots or is that what were you talking about?
No, I think the new Rapid. He's talking about Sapphire Rapids. They're ring bus P cores. Yeah.
Oh, are they?
So I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I just haven't really looked into it because Wendell was talking about 700 watts power consumption too when you overclock it.
I checked options as well. So
Wendell's really passionate about it. I'm passionate about getting that Snap Master. So I'm kind of like, I think. I'm good. Like I said, if I come into any problems with 10 cores over what I previously had with a 13900K, I'll let you know. The only biggest difference I can find right now is warp stabilizer is faster on 13900K, but it's got better IPC. So that's about the only thing. But other than that, everything else is a plus. I'm snapping around doing my videos much faster. Everything's much faster. So that's the biggest difference, is there's just one thing. And I use warp stabilizer rarely. Probably use it in 1 in every 3 videos that comes out on the channel. So warp stabilizer is just like, oh, okay, I couldn't be bothered taking another shot. And I'm just going to...
Wait, warp stabilizer is CPU heavy?
Yes, in Premiere Pro.
On Resolve, it's just all GPU.
Yeah, it's because Resolve know what they're doing in terms of optimization. We were going there. I just went there for you. Look.
I was getting there.
Yeah, you were getting there. I just like, look, let's just... Yeah, I'll just get there straight away for you. That's all. Okay, so upcoming products, 14th gen. I'm not too excited about it. That's my personal opinion. I'm excited about AMD's 8000 series CPUs. I think that has a potential to be a bit of a rocker. So more news when that comes closer. But I think that's the one to get excited a little bit about, dare I say, because especially because the motherboards are coming down in price too. Like I'm seeing even A620s. I think A620 messing around with that could be a really good point. So A620s are getting so cheap, and so if you can pick up sort of like the 8000 Ryzen 8000 series 8 core, you can have a really good gaming system. That would be like meta. So that's what I'm looking forward to from AMD, is their new 8 core. See what that brings to the market. And then the GPUs, I mean, NVIDIA's already pretty much served out their whole stack for 4000. I think you'll get 4000 Super. AMD's just like, they've got to sell those 6700 XTs. I think they've just got an oversupply.
Apparently they cancelled the 4090 Ti, just officially.
Okay. Was it? But this is what I've been saying with leaks. Okay, so what happened here? The 4090 Ti cancelled. But this is what I mean. So we're talking about a leaked product that we don't even know if it's coming out, and then apparently a leaked product is cancelled. So this is why I don't even bother with leaks, because if you were like looking forward to a 4090 Ti,
exactly, if
you just wasted all your time.
Yeah, if you were saying, oh, I got a 3070, but I've got the money for 4090 or 4090 Ti. Oh, okay, I'm just going to wait because there's no point upgrading from 4090 to a 4090 Ti. And then you went, oh, it's cancelled. You could have been on a 4090 this whole time.
You just literally just wasted your time. Like, this is what I mean. The leaking community, I think half the time, I know for fact, half the time they get it wrong. So it's like... I mean, there's actually some good leakers on Twitter, but I mean, I think I was on a podcast like last year's. Was it Moore's Law's dead? And he's like, oh, this AMD product's going to be 60% faster. And I said, dude, I think it's going to be 30% faster. I don't even study leaks or anything like that. I was just looking at the specs, looking at the reality of the situation. Ended up being bang on right. So it's like, it's just like...
Okay, is it actually 60% faster? Or is it AMD marketing 60% faster?
I just don't know, but that was like leaks, right? Heavily in the leak system. Yeah. It's just like, again, don't bother with leaks. Just wait until it comes out. And then I think it's when I step on this USB cable, it breaks. So, sorry. Next stream, it won't happen with this stupid video capture. No, it's just like I stepped on the USB cable and it cut out. So I was like, okay. Got to do something there. But yeah, with the leak community, man, it's just like one of those things where I just don't even bother with leaks anymore because I know what's coming. And that is, it's going to be the similar formula that you're getting now. NVIDIA doesn't want to give you the best thing ever unless their old stuff is almost sold out. Yeah. So they got a lot of 4000 series boards to sell. They got a lot of these 4000 series cards to sell. They've even got a lot of 3000 series cards to sell. Why are they going to want to give you more with 5,000 when they got to move 4,000? So it's like, it's not the right time. So when that reaches that peak of, oh, no more 4,000 series cards are selling well, think about releasing a 5,000. So I don't know.
Or a refresh.
Yeah, but I mean, right now I think the 8,000 series CPUs is what I'm kind of looking forward to. Yeah, and then this 4090 Ti, it's reportedly cancelled due to melting itself. What? Like, who's believing this stuff?
Well, isn't that what the initial rumors were? Oh, the biggest NVIDIA card is going to draw, like, what was it, 800, 900 watts or something?
Oh, bro. NVIDIA love trolling. I know this for a fact. NVIDIA love trolling the leaking scene too.
So you think
they love it, dude.
In the office saying like, "Hey, how are we gonna like? What's the biggest beat we can send
They
out to
love it. I know for a fact after speaking with people at events, they love trolling. Because you remember the 3000 series right before the day before the 3080 launch? I think it was one of the board partners leaked the stats of the thing, and like all these sites went, "Oh, it's gonna have the," and it was just completely wrong. And I was just like. And like some of the reviewers knew because we had the hardware. We were just under NDA, so we couldn't say anything. But it was the biggest joke. After that, I was like, wow, NVIDIA trolled the leaking scene so hard. And I just think they love doing it. So it's funny, man. Like just AMD, however, AMD, I know there's a lot of leaks that get out of AMD because I've been to events in the past and literally like these AMD dudes that are pretty high up in the company are just bragging about what's coming. And like, this is going to come. And it's like, dude, you should not be saying that crap. Like,
well, I think they're just excited about what they got coming out.
I know, but like, there's literally like, there's these guys like eavesdropping, like, yeah. Straight away, next day, there's like, not even that. Like, literally 5 hours later, there's an article out. Like, after these guys talk at these events, 5 hours later, there's an article out. This is coming out. This is coming out. This is coming out. It's like, oh. And some of the AMD guys would be like, how the F did this get out? So this is like,
I wonder.
It's just, yeah. So some of the AMD leaks are kind of like, a lot of them can be true. I know that. But NVIDIA is so tight-lipped about leaks, dude. So tight-lipped about leaks. It's hard to get anything out of them. So you're kind of more of a guessing game there. But yeah, this 4090 Ti apparently coming out and then apparently being melted or whatever. I just think it's all a load of crap. I think there will be a Super Series, 4000 Super Series, because the silicon has the setup for it. That's all. So I think you will see a 4000 series Super. That's what
I think. When the buying curve starts to taper off, then they'll release the Super.
Yeah. Well, I think the competitors aren't bringing a whole lot to the table. NVIDIA's got some wiggle room with prices and performance. So it's like perfect setup for a 4000 series Super series. That's just my opinion. I don't know anything about leaks or anything like that. I'm just taking a guess here. So
yeah, I dislike how they used TI at launch because that's how.
Well, they had to. There was just the 4080, two 4080s, 12 gig and 16 gig. It was too stupid, man.
Yeah.
It was too stupid. It was dumb.
270. Bring it so like the stack goes all the way down to like 10. I don't care. Just don't have TI.
But they need the 60 series card. See, a lot of people just mentally go out and buy a 60 series. So if they've got the 4060 labeled as a 4050, it's going to be horrible for them as a business, right? So it's like, well, what is my 4060? Oh, well, it's actually $600. That's too much to stomach. So they kind of shifted the stats down a notch.
Yeah, no, I understand why they did it, but I dislike it.
Well, I think anyone does. I mean, anyone. Like, if you're a consumer, of course, you want more for your money. Of course you want to get more for your money. Anyone wants that.
I want it to be called less, just so it's not as confusing.
Okay, so you want a 4060 to be called a 4050 Ti?
No. Like, say it, like, because of the 80, the 70 Ti, and the 60 Ti. If that brought, like, the 4060 down to, like, if they said, oh, that's a 4030 now, I'd be like, sure.
So my biggest question is, would you like to see then a 4060 as a 4050 Ti and then a 4060 Ti as a 4050 Ti?
Well, the Ti Super Pro Max Ultra, a Platinum Edition.
I want the Ti. I want to see the Ti.
You want the Ti?
And then you can like mispronounce it as titty.
Yeah. Yeah. So true.
That's it.
I got the titty edition.
Yeah, that's it, man. I got titty. That's it. Anyway, this stream just took a nosedive. Sorry, guys.
It's that time of the stream.
It's just that time of the stream. But on that note, we can check out popular selling GPUs. I was actually going to do this before the stream. One thing in Japan. Look at this ARC. The A750 is... You know how much it is in Japan right now?
The A750? No, how
much? Yeah, I'm going to tell you. I'm just going to tell you right now. Hang on. $155, and that's with tax.
US?
Yeah.
That's... What? Isn't that like $100 off MSRP?
Dude, it's like, that's insane.
Ah,
No one's making any money at this price. No one's making any money at this price. The Intel Arc A750 is $155. No wonder it shot up to #1 in the charts. You're not going to find, like, that is, like, wow. That's really, so DOS Patter. That's DOS Patter.
Okay.
Free shipping as well. That'll be
What
sold
about
out
the
very
other
quickly, though.
retailers? Is that just one retailer? Like,
Yeah, one
really
retailer in
big?
Japan's got it for that price. It's going to be sold out, though. That'll be sold out pretty quick. But there's obviously
What about-
the
what about
ranking
next
here.
biggest
So RX 6800's coming in #2 now. But I got to take a look. I got to take a look at they've got the Ninki rankings and the sale rankings. Okay, no, the 6800's like legitimately doing. Okay. Wow, Nvidia's taking a dump in Japan. Okay. I mean, they're holding. Okay, this is good news. Let's get some more. Let's get some more competition here, guys.
Yeah.
But dude, Intel's eating it at that price, man. Wow, it's like, yeah, someone said Tammy's like they're eating it. Yeah, they're just, dude, that's harsh. Like $150 though. You're not making, dude, $0. They're losing money on that. I'm pretty sure, man, because you got to pay tax. You got to pay tax in Japan, 10%. So that's.
Yep.
How much is like the retailer really selling it for after tax, right? You want to know? $141.
Oh.
Oof,
Wait,
I
no,
know.
isn't that free shipping?
Yeah, and free shipping.
Take away how much shipping would be. Let's say. Like,
Okay, so well, shipping's cheap in Japan. So shipping's like I give it 500 yen shipping because they're a big company.
Okay.
$137.
Jeez.
Like, dude, that's brutal. Like that, guys, we want Intel to do well, but Intel's like, that's brutal, man. That's like the bankruptcy formula. That one. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how cheap do you want your GPUs? And it's like, you'll have the gravestone there. You'll have the tombstone there. Intel 2023 Arc, rest in peace. Because this is like...
Do you think it's just penetration? Get Intel cards out in the wild?
Well, I think they've got to sell them cheaper because no one's buying them. Like, you've got AMD with the RX 6600, right? That's
Rather
right
sell
there.
them at all costs than have them sitting on the shelves?
Someone raises a super duper nerd raises a good point. That's a hell of a price for an AV1 encoder. Exactly. That's.
Oh, I know so many high-end streamers that are just buying it for their stream PC.
Yeah, just for the AV1 encoder, have it there, sitting there. That's actually a pretty good idea. And especially since one thing that Intel's doing really well with their software, I should have praised them for it though, was they had the option to record in AV1 from their software. I just wish they had hotkey it and stuff like that. So they have the AV1 encoder in their own software. Like, so I mean, I want to see the streaming software support for it too.
Does that work with the whatever they call their shadow play, like how it records backwards?
Yes. So it'll record in AV1. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So, is Kuro Toshiko any good? Marco asks. They're like the Galax. I think they're just a rebrand of Galax, I'm pretty sure, off the top of my memory. So they were just like Garakuro. Yeah. Garakuro. That's just Galaxy in Japan. Because the sad thing is, like, a lot of these companies, like for instance Logitech, they had to call Logicool in Japan because a lot of the trademarks are already taken, a lot of the names, so they have to rebrand. Yeah, so Galaxy or Galax probably couldn't get it in Japan, so they just got Garakuro. So it'll just be a Galaxy 4080. So actually, speaking of the 4080, it's come down in price here too. So you got here, so top GPUs are all over the place. Okay, so the 3060 still.
Do you want to check where would you check for US? Like most.
Oh, you just go on Amazon. Amazon's 50%. Like last time, I mean, I don't know the stats, but Amazon's like 50% of commerce in America. So if you look at Amazon's top selling best GPUs, you're gonna get a great idea. So in the US, the best sellers are the 3060 at the moment. Yeah, like 3060's just taken the top 3 spots. Like that's actually insane. So people are just buying it, 12 gigabytes of VRAM. This is what I was talking about parts hunts. People just don't care. Like a 4060 at $300 is going to give you better efficiency, better performance. But people want that extra 4 gigabytes of VRAM. They just want it. Even if they're not using it, it doesn't matter. I mean, personally, I would go with the 4060 over the 3060. That's me, but I don't care. If I'm flipping PCs, people want this top 3 shit, I'm going to give it to them. I don't care. Doesn't bother me. It's just it's surprising that the 3060 is outselling the 4060 though. That's actually surprising. So, I mean,
and how often is that updated? Do you know?
No, like every day. I'm pretty sure it's updated.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'd update it pretty constantly. So RX 6600 is doing well. 4060 Ti. That's weird. Why it's beating a 4060. So 4060 Ti is going up to number 5. That's a weird one though. But like, anyway. Okay, 3060 Ti. So the numbers are weird. Numbers are weird.
So it's basically the opposite of Japan here. It's just all NVIDIA at the
Well,
top.
Japan's just like Japan. One good thing about Japan is they're always looking for raw value. They don't care about brand names too much. And you can see this with the top charts, well, kind of, at least with the top 3 or the top 2. And the number 1, especially the number 1 in Japan, is always going to be that value one. People are like, oh, what are people buying number 1? And that is a good buy. Like an ARC A750 for $150 shipped to your door is actually really good. I would actually go back and change my recommendation in my video and say, hey guys, you can live with the problems for this. Like $150, you can live with all the problems this thing has. It's actually pretty, like, you're getting incredible performance for the dollar from Intel at this price. So in some games, it'll perform similar to this right here. It's almost double the price, the 3060. So really, yeah, really interesting stats coming out of Japan right now. So, yeah, that's sort of all over the place. We got, okay, thank you, Thunder Turbine. The $2.71, $2.71. That's a very odd number. Was there a reason for that donation at that number? The $2.71. It should be 220 to represent this arc here, or 150, 155. So we'll check the top selling CPUs before we head out. My guess is it's a Ryzen 7. I'm going to guess Ryzen 7 5700X. Wait, sorry. We're going to go back to Pusicon and go back. My guess is, number 1, 5700X. People want 8 cores, bro. They want the 7. They want the Ryzen. They want the 7 there. And they want... Okay, this is weird. So you've got the other rankings. You've got 2 different rankings here. You've got the popularity ranking, and I believe it's... might even be the sales ranking, this top one. So I got to check that out a little bit more in depth. But here we got the popularity ranking here. The 5700X is at number 1. 5800X 3D. That was actually getting sold out in Tokyo. So that was getting sold out in Tokyo. That's actually a pretty good buy. And so that would be the 37579. That's weird. $265 for a 5800X 3D. It's pretty good. I actually really like that. That's a pretty solid deal. Then you got 13500, which is around the same price. That's gone up in price.
Wow.
That's gone up in price though, I think. I remember getting that for like 230-ish, I think, 240-ish. So it's gone up a little bit in price. 5600G, that's got its own sort of unique case scenario. Really cheap price. 7800X 3D, people want. They're 8 cores. Dude, I got the 7950. Okay, here's the question I've got for you guys in the audience too. And for you. Would you rather, at similar prices, would you get a 7800X 3D or a 7950X?
The 3D for gaming.
Okay, so you just go with the 3D. I'd get the 7950X.
Really? Do you need those extra cores for day to day?
It's not just that. It's just you've got more flexibility in clocking it. So I can fine tune the CPU so much better. Like the 7900, the 7800X 3D.
Okay. Yeah, you're very niche because you like tuning it like all the way. But would you like put that in just a random person's PC? That you just building it, you don't tune it at all, just build it and give it away.
Okay. Someone said I got a floating heart button. What's the floating heart button?
It's part of the YouTube chat.
Is it floating hearts? Is it? I don't know.
No, it's just like a reaction on top of chat. It's a YouTube thing, not an us thing.
Ah, okay. Oh, cool. We're getting 100% as well. There's like love hearts coming up. I see.
Yeah.
Ah, sweet. I I actually only just noticed it then. Is it it's triggering someone? Sorry, man. Like, I can't really change a whole lot on live stream, so I'll set that up next time. Do let us know if you guys want to see that or not see it. Yeah, I'll try and get rid of it.
It's just reactions. Like if you say something like you say a zinger, people are gonna give you the hundreds.
Okay, so you get zingers. Okay, that'd be pretty good. Anyway, top CPUs. It's an AMD. It's an AMD's still holding. Yeah, AMD's beating Intel.
Good to see.
Yeah, I reckon the numbers would be completely different if 10th gen was at the right price in that lineup. Then GPUs. What about top selling CPUs in? Top selling CPUs, Amazon. Okay, let's have a look. 5600X. So America's different. US is different to Japan. Differs a lot. That's actually pretty interesting to see.
What would you say that is? Would you say it's popular opinion? Would you say
I would say the 5800X 3D sold out at the good prices. Yeah, there we go. Before I even saw it. So $331 as opposed to $260. So it all comes down to price. Everything's about price. So people are sort of switching between what is the cheaper price. And look at this, 5600X versus 5700X, just $40. You are technically getting better value with the 5700X, but this is actually showing you something about the economies. That $40, that raw $40 in absolute terms is making all the difference. So people are building a new PC and they're like, I need to save that $40. I just can't justify spending that extra $40. So they're saving it. And even though they'd be getting better value with the 5700X, they're just saving it and getting the 5600X at $163. So that's how tight the market is right now. That should show you something about the consumer and they're hurting. So that's a big one.
Yeah.
That's some good insight because we saw that live. Basically, I'm just correlating in my head what's going on here. And then you got the 13900K. That's a flagship CPU from Intel coming down to $560. Like
everyone's saying the 5700G is like the deal.
The 5600G, $127.
5700G.
Yeah, if you just need a banger, I think it's emulation. Is it good? Emulation, it's a really good APU. And also if you just need a banger, like a little CPU to play some 720p gaming or something, even 1080p low settings, it's going to be a pretty good banger. So the Gs are pretty good. I like the 5000 series G. I've tested one before. It's pretty good. So, yeah, that's interesting. Okay. But yeah, it's all over the place now, man. The numbers are coming all over the place. That's something I just thought I'd look at live stream with you guys and see how I analyze things live and see what the numbers are. But it's looking like, yeah, things are all over the place. But one thing is the consumer's looking for a bargain. They're getting, see, as what we said in that finance video, right? I said this like a few, even probably like over 6 months ago in one of the finance videos. The consumer's not dumb, especially when money gets tighter. The consumer's going to be looking more than ever past a lot of fanboy hype. The GPUs though, I mean the VRAM thing, is that hype or is that real? I think a lot of people are convinced that they need 12 gigabytes of VRAM versus 8. They absolutely need 12. And so that's one thing. That's them making their decision with their wallet. For me personally, again, like I said before, I'd rather a 4060 over a 3060, but I don't care. I'm buying up 3060s now because I'm selling, yeah, like Capano says, I'm selling people the VRAM boogeyman. He's like, you know what I mean? Like if you have an 8 gigabyte card, and when I advertise that PC, you know what I'm going to do when I advertise that PC? I'm going to say in the ad, don't get caught out holding 8 gigabytes of VRAM in your PC. Like this is like you know, you're fueling it, right? You're fueling it. There's people who are insecure about it. It's working. They're obviously buying the 3060s, all of NVIDIA's old stock, at near MSRP. This is like, let me just remind people that the 3060 is what, 2 years old now? You're buying all of NVIDIA's stock, their old stock, at a time when money's getting pretty tight. It's the tightest it's ever been in the last few years. You're buying up all their old stock near MSRP. NVIDIA couldn't have a better deal going on right now. I mean, if anything, do you think NVIDIA played 3D chess with a lot of the YouTubers? Because they need to sell their old silicon. So, like, what better way to drop the VRAM down. And then people like just go get the 12 gigabyte cards. And same with the RX 7600, right? Like this is a bit of.
I think AMD started that whole trend of VRAM as like a marketing tool, and then NVIDIA just sort of played into that. It's just people like I've had people like even just the other day, I had one of my friends asking me like, yeah, okay, I want to get this sort of GPU, but I don't know if it has enough VRAM. I'm like, why are you looking at the VRAM? Look at the raw performance of it.
I mean, like, yeah, for me, like I said in my video, 8 gigabytes is fine. It's gonna be fine. I mean, again, so I don't know. I just think like it's great, but I'm taking advantage of it. So I'm gonna be taking advantage of it in more ways than one. I'd be like, don't get caught out having 8 gigabytes of VRAM in your PC. So someone's gonna read that PC ad and they're gonna be like, oh my god, I gotta get this 12 gigabyte 3060. I gotta get this 12 gigabyte. I gotta get his ad. He's got 12 gigabytes of VRAM. So I'm getting in their head, right? And so, like, when I look at it, right, did NVIDIA
telling them what they want?
Well, it's just like they're looking for it, right? They've already been like a lot of YouTubers already said you need more VRAM, guys. They've already been preconditioned for me to basically push them over the line. Come get my PC. Don't get someone else's PC because you're gonna get caught out with 8 gigabytes of VRAM. And that's what I mean. Don't get caught out, guys. That's going to be my advertising.
James is saying Warzone DMZ is demanding 10 gigs or above of VRAM.
But is that on max settings? That's what I mean. Are we talking about ultra? Are we talking about ultra settings? Like, what are we talking? What settings are we talking about? Are we just maxing the dial out? So,
well, see, at the same time, I don't think people need like that much. I think even if you're just saying playing at 4K medium or high settings, I think 10 gigs is still going to be fine. Like,
I don't know. I mean, I had no problems on 8 gigs. I had no problems on 8. I mean, I just had no problems on 8 gigabytes of VRAM in any of the testing I did at 1440p or 1080p. 4K, I didn't bother because those GPUs weren't geared up towards 4K. So maybe the 3080 with 10 gigabytes of 4K would be having problems, but it's just one of those things where it's like, mix and match your settings and you'll get a lot of value. So it's just, I'm just going to take advantage of it though, because it's just a hot topic right now. VRAM. You want more of it, guys. You want more of VRAM. So it's like, all right, if this is what people want, I'm just going to give it to them. X go and give it to you, Just so I just thought it was funny though, because I put up a 3060 PC for sale, instantly gone. Just like instantly gone. I was like, whoa, okay. So there you go. Yeah, man.
Is that because NVIDIA? Because
3060 had 12 gig. It's just the 12 gigabytes of VRAM. I know it is, dude. Like, I know it was. It's just like, yeah. For me, it's like, I don't care. I just, doesn't matter. Just buying up on 3060s. So just buying up 12 gigabytes of VRAM. And you've seen that with the charts. That exact, like, slide I showed you guys of Amazon's best-selling GPUs is exactly what I didn't even check that before the parts hunt. I knew deep down that's what it was, right? Amazon top selling GPUs. I just knew this was the case.
How much VRAM has the top GPUs got?
Yeah. So top 3 slots, 12 gigabytes, 12 gigabytes, 12 gigabytes. Yeah. And even on Amazon in Japan, which is a huge sale point, it's all 3060s, man. It's just where it's at, 12 gigabytes of so the consumer's thinking, it's got 12 gigabytes, safe. Oh, it's 3060, it's relatively new. Oh, okay, I'm safe. That's all. It's just like the safe purchase. I mean, 3060 doesn't perform that. Like, it's not bad performance. It's pretty decent, but I mean, it's just like I think there's better options out there, especially for the same price. So that's it's just funny, but hey, that's what people want, man. Look at this, Amazon Japan as well, 3060s. Come and get them. Anyway, guys, we're going to close off the stream. Make sure whatever you do, you have enough VRAM. That's all. That's all we're going to say before we close this one off.
If you don't have at least, I'm going to say 28 gigs of VRAM, you can't watch the rest of the stream and it's going to look like it ended. But we're going for another 24 hours. You just can't see it.
That's it. VRAM. We're actually going to go. The stream's going to continue another 24 hours. If you do not have 28 gigabytes of VRAM, done, dudes. That's it. Done. So, but on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this stream, and thanks for tuning in wherever you are in the world. Love each and every one of you. It is what it is. I just thought, like, in the back of my head, what was the play here? Well, people generally want NVIDIA through word of mouth. Like, I know that's a huge thing. It's been the way in the PC gaming industry forever. Word of mouth, just get an NVIDIA card. You got no problems. Then the VRAM thing piled in on top of that. It's like, well, what's the easy target here? Get the 3060 12 gig. That's just going to be like the common recommendation. So it's the new RGB is the 3060 12 gigabyte of VRAM. That's the new RGB play. If you've got that in your PC, like, you know, should I do a video just as an experiment? Like, I mean, it's sad. Like, when the guy comes to buy it, I'll change the CPU over. But, like, I'll put in, like, an i7 870 with an RTX 3060 and see if the PC sells. I mean, then when he comes to buy it, I'll be like, dude, yeah, like, dude,
you got hosed. Here's
like,
what you should look for.
Yeah, here's what you should be getting.
Upgrade, like.
I'll do you the upgrade because I feel bad for you, but would you guys like to see a video just testing the market like that? Because it's just, it's kind of sad. So but I feel like NVIDIA is actually, like, when I really think about it, perhaps NVIDIA played 3D chess with the whole community. So, yeah, it's February 2021, 2.5-year-old card near MSRP. So there's the finishing off NVIDIA's 3D chess game. So that's it. All right. The more you buy, the more you save. Yeah, of the old silicon. Anyhow, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for Yusuf coming on with the co-host job. And we'll love each and every one of you guys. Stay safe. Make sure if you're near a volcano, it's not going to blow up anytime soon. That's all I'll say there. We talked about everything. We'll update the timetable as well in the top comment. And leave
a like and comment. We'll see who's got the funniest one, and I'll pin it.
Yeah. All right. So that's it. The VRAM boogeyman. Guys, don't get caught holding 8 gigabytes anymore. Don't get caught out. You have to have 12 gigabytes, and we'll catch you in the next one.
No, remember, this is going to go on for another 24 hours unless you've got 28 gigs of VRAM.
Right, that's right. Sorry, guys.
But if you don't, we'll see you in the next video.
Peace out for now. Bye.